The coast is 9,824 miles long, mostly untouched with fantastic sandy beaches and many in complete isolation. Exploration by boat is an excellent way to visit these, meeting with the wonderful wildlife untainted by human contact. Seals, protected, are now common. Pied shags and common shags. Whale watching is incredible. Australian gannets home in on their colony, where the noise is often beyond deafening, especially as the chicks appear. Amongst the mountains on the many lakes, black swans make their family homes. Hiking through this mountain terrain is a good way to explore. There are no dangerous animals, not even snakes. This animal is not a lizard but a tuatara, a gecko, and is thought to be as ancient as the land itself. Tree ferns, forming a very distinctive feature in the primeval rainforest. This bird is a kiwi, from where New Zealanders get their name. In 1840, the Maori were persuaded to sign what became a controversial treaty in this house, ceding their sovereignty. The matter has been settled and the house was given to the nation in 1931. A war canoe fully capable of an ocean crossing. The meeting house, called a warenui, is a large structure, and these all have a wareke, a dining room. The Maori are a fully integrated race, but keep their culture and language fully alive. They are of proud spirit with a quick humour and a deep sense of their history, known as mana kitanga, which is quite fascinating. Part of their culture is given to performing arts telling of their history. It earned respect and always attracts a full house. The Maori have many skills. Traditional skirts called aipiu-piu, woven of scraped and dyed flax leaves. They are adept at carving and traditional design. Steam was a basic power of New Zealand's early development. The Infant Creek Railway or tramway was essential to logging and was also part of the 1864 gold rush era. Instead of mud-caked prospectors, it now gives pleasure to New Zealanders and tourists alike as it beats up through the ancient rainforest serving Shantytown. Shantytown is a reconstruction using the old buildings from the 1864 gold rush period. Gold was discovered, the news increasing the population from 300 to 30,000 almost overnight. It reflects the normal living standards of colonial times. Unlike now, then it was wild with Chinese diggers and shovelers and colonial boys tearing into the land to find that golden nugget and their fortune.
The green ones.
The store and ever-open bar and the jail were the essential facilities. The church a little less so. Of major importance was the hospital. Its bank of heavy instruments. The inevitable syringe affected by the venereal disease. Christchurch is the main city of South Island. It is more English than England, with a population of around 322,000. It suffered badly in the major earthquake of 2011. The fine example of the Gothic cathedral was totally destroyed. The authorities permit a wide range of street entertainers, some quite bizarre. Much respect is accorded to the military, especially considering that many lost their lives in defence of the United Kingdom. Tramways make for a pleasurable trip and provide an interesting way of seeing some of the city.
I'm from Tokyo, Japan. Kyoto.
The flea market is a well-patronised attraction.
Some jugglers stuff tricks up because they're really hard.
New Zealanders are family-oriented, very friendly, full of good humour and broad-minded.
I just stuffed it up. Joshua could explode any moment. Here we go, 50 spins. One of the kids has got it. Give him a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like you to give here a young man who's come all the way from out of the audience and entertained you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua. Joshua. Because I just have to tell you that that must take moving pictures. Wait, there's something furry on the top. Oh, hey, kids, go back and get more. It's a game. Before you keep going, my message for the day is, to thine own self be true. Go from your heart in whatever you do. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Hey, there's a 5. Can we get a 10? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The sheepdog statue was erected on the 7th of March 1968 above South Island's Lake Tekapo in tribute to all the collie dogs working so hard in New Zealand's mainstay of sheep farming. Without them, it would have been impossible in the mountain country.
They make up kind faces, aren't they nice? Yes.
Scottish Shepherds and their dogs arrived on the eastern side of South Island in the 19th century. New Zealand is the second largest producer of wool in the world. Littleton is the port town of Christchurch, historically the landing point for colonial settlers, being also the gateway to the Canterbury area. With a population of around 3,072, it stands on the lower slopes of a volcano rim. Discovered by Cook on the 6th of February 1770, it has been a home to the Maori for over 700 years. The first New Zealand telegraph communication was sent from here in 1862. On the 1st of January 1908, Shackleton's Nimrod Antarctic expedition left from the port. The port remains busy. It is a regular calling point for cruise liners, and it's also the South Island's principal goods terminal. Notoriously, this Russian whaling ship and its entire crew were abandoned here, the owners failing to pay the port dues or the crew's wages. The crew remained living aboard, being without money and unable to return home. The people of Littleton adopted them, providing them with food and other necessities, so typical of New Zealanders. Taking off from Christchurch heliport, flying westwards, crossing Canterbury Plains, the ground is broken by rivers and huge shingle riverbeds. At times, northwest winds bring dust and drought, followed by raging floods caused by melting snow in the Southern Alps. Dropping to very low level flight into the Waimakariri Gorge to investigate the river canyon that divides with the Southern Alps, South Island into two parts. It is not recommended for persons of a squeamish disposition. Avoiding the 293 feet high bridge, the Shotover Gorge with the jet boats provides a thrill every second, some of it dangerous and definitely not for the faint-hearted, offset only by the precise manoeuvrability of the boat and the skills of the pilot. New Zealand is a playground for adrenaline-pumping sports of all sorts, of which there are many, with probably some which remain to be invented. The Maori of the Arawi Iwi, or tribe, were the very first inhabitants of Rotorua. Legend states that it was first discovered by Ihenga with his dog whilst hunting. It is perched on the very edge of an ancient volcanic crater. A spectacular expression of the power of creation. The non-stop boiling, constantly changing mud makes fascinating patterns. The silicate, mineral formations, terraces and the lakes are nature in art. This has gone on for countless millennia, from long before humans developed. The Pahuta geyser, the biggest, regularly erupts to around 101 feet. You can almost set your clock by it. New Zealand is favoured as engineers are able to tap into the natural volcanic sources of geothermal power to produce electricity. In fine weather approaching New Zealand's highest mountain, Mount Cook, the ski plane gains access to the snowfield above the Tasman Glacier. Apart from the usual snow fun, it is also possible, in the essentially right conditions, to ski the 18 miles down the snow-covered river. There are many glaciers in New Zealand. This is the Franz Josef. Maori legend states that it was formed by the tears of Hine when she discovered that her beloved Wawa had fallen to his death. Exploration is possible with trained guides, but great care is needed. A slip down a deep crevasse and your body would probably not see the light of day for about 10,000 years. At the time of filming, it's noted that these glaciers are extending, not receding. The Kea parrot is known as the clown of the mountains. They are very intelligent, investigative and curious. They will steal from you and have an annoying habit of stealing rubber from cars. Wiper blades, seals and car wash nozzles are all favourites. Queenstown is a small pleasant place on the S-shaped crystal clear lake Wakatipu. It has been constantly served by the steamship Earnslaw since 1912. Then the passengers had to share accommodation with sheep and supplies. Not so now, with amongst others young Japanese setting out for the ski slopes.
これからホテルデーとかを呼びますので、そのお客様は。
There are 4 ways into the incredible Milford Sound. Flying over the Southern Alps, which have 27 peaks, dominated by Mount Cook at 12,313 feet with its twin peaks, and known to the Maori as Eorangi, the cloud piercer. It is necessary to fly between the peaks. The mountains present a breathtaking beauty with an environment of lakes and primeval forest, much of it unexplored, with just 3 passes through a totally unspoiled wilderness.
Hope you had a good trip.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you for coming.
Ahead is Mitre Peak at 5,600 feet, with the depth of 862 feet to the bed of the fjord. It is the largest mountain in the world that rises directly from the sea. Milford Sound is an enchanting part of Fiordland. Carved during successive ice ages, it's 11 miles long from the Tasman Sea. Its dramatic splendour is stunning.
Lovely.
I'm flying back from Montreal.
There are 3 other ways into it. Hike the 33 miles over several days through the Clinton Valley along Lake Te Anau, climbing over the McKinnon Pass, which was found in 1888, or travel by sea or drive under the mountain through the rock-hewn Homer Tunnel. Dunedin is South Island's second city and capital of Otago Province. Today it's a centre for education. Very much like Old Edinburgh, the name of which in Scots Gaelic is Dún Aidien. The Maori arrived about 1250. The then Lieutenant James Cook anchored off the coast on the 25th of February 1770, reporting on the seals. In 1861 it was the most prosperous city due to the Gabriel's Gully Gold Rush. There is a sort of cafe society where all are friendly, including the dogs and the sparrows. The ferry sets sail for the North Island. Leaving Picton for Wellington is the start of yet another beautiful journey. The 3 hours voyage is interesting, but that is possibly lost on daily commuters. The greater part is through the Marlborough Sounds, then across Cook Strait, which can be rough. Auckland in the North Island is built on the Tamaki Peninsula. It's larger than Greater London. It's called the capital of Polynesia as there are more Pacific Islanders than in any other place. Auckland lies between the Hauraki Gulf of the Pacific Ocean to the east and Manukau Harbour to the southwest. The central part of the urban area occupies a narrow isthmus between the Manuka harbour on the Tasman Sea and the Waitemata harbour on the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the few cities in the world to have major harbours on two separate.
Alright, where you come from? Come colo colo. La 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 tikino. Baka fiti dero. Hoopane, kaupane, fiti dero. Chinese men doing New Zealand and Maori haka before? Yep. No. Very unusual, eh? Yep. Cheers. Have a good time here.
Schoolboys still wear 1950s style dress to school. The Auckland metropolitan area is the largest and most populous urban area in the country, with 31% of the country's population. In Maori, Auckland is called Te Maki Makoro. Looking over Auckland, it was from here that Captain Cook hoisted the British flag on the 15th of November 1769 and also observed the transit of the planet Venus, enabling the calculation of the distance to the Sun. The Cafe Society extends to an entertaining nightlife. Aucklanders are boat mad, with more boats and yachts per family than second cars. Sailing is available in most all conditions in Waitemata Harbour. The Anniversary Day Regatta is the largest in the world. The Bay of Islands in North Island is a beautiful area of lush green, of blue skies, of azure and turquoise seas, close to the northern tip of the country. But it was not so when our camera arrived. An irregular 12 miles wide inlet, a natural harbour, the small town of Russell is located at the end of a short peninsula, formerly known as Kororareka, was the first permanent European settlement in New Zealand. The first European to visit the area was Captain Cook, who named the region in 1769. The Bay of Islands was the first area in New Zealand to be settled by Europeans. It can turn very stormy at short notice, and these men are trying desperately to save their yacht.